Hello, my love, and welcome to the Energy Expansion Podcast. I am your host, Dani Kenney. If you're new here, I want to start by giving you the warmest welcome. You're going to love it here. You're going to feel right at home, I promise. And if you're one of our loyal listeners, it is always so good to have you back in this space. I'm feeling really extra excited about today's episode because I'm going to be sharing something really special with you. So last week, I had the opportunity to speak to the most extraordinary group of women. Hi, you're also an extraordinary woman, which is why you're going to love this conversation. But it was specifically to a group of women known as the LendHer Collective, TLC for short, which was founded by the one and only Kat Miller, a woman who I connected with. Honestly, it feels like our souls have known each other for lifetimes. I know you know a woman like that, where you meet someone and you know that your paths were meant to cross. This is how I feel about my girl Kat. And the LendHer Collective is specifically a heart-centered community for women in mortgage in the realm of real estate. And the really interesting thing is, since the genesis of my business almost 13 years ago, there are countless women from the real estate industry, from women in mortgage to realtors, even TCs, transaction coordinators, who have felt the call to hire me as their coach. And so it feels really special. It feels like a community of women who I am right at home with. One of the things that Kat and I realized from our very first conversation that we had in common was this passion around energetics, mindset, spirituality, and more than anything around helping women realize and remember what powerful creators they are. And so that's really the core of the message. There's so many, if you know me well, you know that I love a good side quest if I'm teaching or recording content like this, especially long form content. And so there are sort of multiple side quests we go on, but the heart of the conversation is me sharing one of my all-time favorite frameworks for understanding reality creation, walking you through how your thoughts and beliefs inform your feelings and your emotions, and then the impact that that has on our actions and our results. And I give tons of examples and really practical tools and strategies when it comes to how you can leverage this for yourself. We talk about what it means to live into your fullest potential, what it means to be truly magnetic, why being the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of yourself is one of the most needed, powerful, rebellious things you can do in this day and age, and why I'm so passionate about that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Dani, the floor is yours. Please take note, get in the chat, show Dani all the love we have for her, and welcome Dani.
Wow, Kat, thank you so much. And thank you to every single one of you who are here live right now. A few things that I want to share with you when I'm leading communities like this, and I've led hundreds of workshops and master classes for my own communities and for other people's communities as well. And I love an active chat. I might not be able to read every single thing in the chat box. I've got two screens, so my chat box is over here on the second screen, but it allows me to know what is resonating, what is feeling good. So you can drop emojis, you can say yes. I'm going to be asking you questions. This is really meant to be interactive so you can fully integrate and apply what we're using in real time. I'm also very expressive with my body. And so sometimes when I'm on calls that I'm not leading, I do snaps and I do spirit fingers. And so if you're feeling something, let me know. It's a version of our own empowerment church that we're going to be at together today. And so the first thing that I want to do to get some energy in the chat is, and this will apply to some of you, maybe not to all of you, I love to choose a word or a theme for each year. And this is something that will typically ripple into my professional life, my personal life as well. And so if that's you, I already saw some nods. If that's you, if you chose a word or a theme, or you have a big goal this year, I would really love to know what that is in the chat. Just for fun, I'll share mine. This year, it's 2 words. It's embodied evolution. I just feel like personally and professionally, I've been going through lots of changes and shifts over the last couple of years. And this is the year where I get to stand really strong in that. There we go. I just said the word strong, growth, lift, love, grit. Ooh, I love these. Peace, confidence, connection. Beautiful. Okay, so keep that going and flowing. The other thing that I want to have you pop in the chat, and this is a safe place where all of you is welcome. This is a place where you can come and be honest with yourself and be held in nothing but love by other women who are committed to more. That's really why every single one of us is here right now, myself included. And so as I was prepping for today, I was getting really curious. I love a good rating on like a scale of 1 to 10. I like to take an aspect of our life and see, can we make this measurable? And so before you automatically type a number, I want you to sit with this for a moment. There's a lot of P words today. It's our power hour. And when Kat and I were connecting over this, it was like power and purpose and passion and possibility, all of these things that we want to have you tap into and leave with as a result of giving yourself a gift of this time. And so another word that I thought of this morning was potential. Potential. I'm going to share with you one of my greatest fears. I don't have a whole lot, but one of my greatest fears in this life, and it's not going to happen, not on my watch, is getting to the end of this life and not having used all of my potential, all of my gifts. And you can probably feel that from me. There's this energy about me where I want to squeeze the juice out of every ounce of life. How many of you feel that too? Yeah. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to know right now in this moment, how much are you living into your fullest potential? 10 would be like maxed out. There is no more ways that you could possibly tap into your potential. And then 1 would be like, I've got a really long way to go. Yeah. A whole spectrum. If I'm being completely honest, I would probably put myself at like a 5 or a 6. Fun fact, I'm a friend of a woman who worked for Tony Robbins. She was his top sales trainer or salesperson and trainer. If any of you have ever been through any of his programs, you would probably know who this woman is. And she shared with me that Oprah Winfrey, like the Oprah at the peak, this wasn't like pre-Oprah. She was at the peak of her career. She had done all the things. She had the talk shows. She had the network. She had the magazine. She had the best-selling books. She was sitting in the front row of a Tony event. And I think it was a question similar to this. And everyone was shocked when Oprah rated herself a 4. They were like, what? But it's because she knew what she was capable of. Yeah, to the rest of the world, it looked like she was at the peak of everything, but she could feel that hunger, that knowing inside of her that like, yes, we can acknowledge what we've created and the success and the beautiful things materially and also inside of us. But she had this feeling that she knew she was meant for so much more. And I share that with you because if you put a 4 in there, know that you're in really good company. But also, there's nothing bad or wrong about that. It's actually a good thing because it means that you know what's possible for you. Okay. And so thank you for sharing those numbers in there. We've already talked about it a little bit, but I just want to touch on it. I hope you can already feel it. I want to shout out Diana. I saw you in the room. There's an amazing woman here. Her name is Diana, and she is a longtime client of mine. And there's something that happens when you are one of my clients. There is no way to get out of it. You can't run, you can't hide, you can't escape it. You literally become a family member of mine. So she's a longtime client, now a dear friend and soul family member. And she connected Kat and I, and it was electric. And I think every single one of you, when you've interacted with Kat, you feel that. There's something about being in this woman's energy. And I also want to claim like I have some of this magic and every single one of you have some of this magic. And if you feel like you don't, the invitation right now today is for you to activate, expand, and amplify that magic, that magnetism, your natural essence. And so we were on, it was it was like 30 minutes. And there was this electric energy. I got off of our call and walked out of my office and the cells in my body were buzzing. And we knew we wanted to do something together. We didn't know what it was going to look like yet. This hadn't fully come to life. The fact that we're here together right now, all of us. The next week, she popped on my calendar. Kat, that meeting was 9 minutes. I don't know if you know that. We fleshed this whole thing out in 9 minutes. because we got on the call and we were like, okay, we have this amazing community, this LendHer community. And what do we want them to feel? And I said, Kat, I just want them to feel what was created in our conversation. And so I share that with all of you because I hope that you can already feel that. And if you don't, the goal is you're going to walk away feeling some sense of that electricity, that energetic synchronicity, that reminder of how ridiculously powerful you are. I'm going to share some really practical tools specifically around reality creation. This is the power hour where you're going to leave remembering how powerful you are. And there's a framework that's really ridiculously simple. My kids gave me this magic wand for Mother's Day last year, and it's like me handing you your own magic wand where you can get clear on what it is that you desire, and then boom, 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 a couple of waves of your wand, which a lot of people, you'll hear them say, your word is your wand. Fun fact around magic, the word abracadabra. You've all heard this word before. The most famous magician word, abracadabra, means as I speak, I create. That's all that means. You have the power to speak what you desire into existence. And so we're going to talk about how to do that. But a little bit of my story, just so you have some context. So Kat read my fancy bio. If you're vibing with this and we want to connect on Instagram later, wherever we are, you can absolutely do that. And so mom of 3, successful business owner. Fun fact, you guys, I've been a coach for 13 years. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about you as I was laying my head on my pillow last night, getting ready to go to bed. And I was like, I need to tell them this. Coaching is pretty mainstream. Like a lot of you know what a coach is. A lot of you have probably worked with coaches. I even heard Kat say that many of you are actually coaches. Coaching is cool and mainstream now. I've got to tell you, 13 years ago, coaching was not cool. A lot of people did not know what coaching was. When I told people I was a coach, they would look at me like this. A what? Like, what do you mean? You coach soccer? I'm like, no, I've never played soccer a day in my life. And so I share that with you because I sort of out of thin air created this thing. I had been really successful in my corporate career for about 10 years. I was a district manager for a growing company. I live in sunny, beautiful San Diego. And so I was a district manager. We would buy and sell these different locations. I really loved it. But upon becoming a mom, I realized that I could not pour into someone else's bigger vision. I had to really figure out what I wanted that to be. And a huge part of my role was coaching my employees. Out of over 40 locations, my locations had the lowest turnover rate. So my employees never wanted to leave me, and we had the highest customer satisfaction. And every single one of those things, those metrics came down to mentorship. And so that's when I realized I think I could do this out in the wild. I could do this on my own. And so I built this coaching business. But I'm sharing all of this with you because this was not the predictable path for me. And I want you to know that because I would imagine that what you're up to creating, what you've already created, what you desire, the vision for your life might not be the predictable path for you. What do I mean by that? As humans, we have this uncanny way of unconsciously, meaning we don't even know we're doing it until it's too late, of recreating the past. So my mom is my best friend in the entire world. I grew up with a very hardworking single mom. I can't even say I grew up with a dad because I didn't grow up with him, but I had a dad who made it crystal clear, abundantly clear that he wanted nothing to do with me. That messes with a little girl's psyche. And I'm now learning that I'm almost in my 40s and I'm like, oh, okay, that has shaped me in some great and not so great ways. My mom kept finding herself in and out of really terrible relationships. And I remember I was probably like 5 years old. And I remember I'm so grateful for this. The only explanation I have is like, this had to have been the Holy Spirit. It had to have been God. Because as a little girl, I remember watching what was going on around me and thinking, this can't be the only way. Like, this is not for me. There's got to be something better. There's got to be something more. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more because what I'm going to share with you, this framework that we're going to shift into around conscious reality creation, I was doing it all along, but I didn't actually know that I was doing it. And that's such a beautiful thing, right? Like you don't have to understand it in order for it to work, because what we're talking about today are universal laws. There are things that are at play regardless of if you know they're at play or not. And if you can tap into them, you can leverage them. I'm teaching you how to leverage these tools today. And so all of that being said, my husband and I, who it's not rainbows and butterflies, but I am freaking obsessed with this man. He's an amazing husband, an amazing dad. We'll be celebrating 15 years of marriage. That is, I can't even, when I say those words out loud, July 1st, 15 years of marriage. We have 3 beautiful children. I didn't even know that I wanted to be a mom because, I mean, my mom is amazing, but I was like, if I can't figure out something different, I don't want to bring kids into a reality like this. My kids are my best friend in the whole wide world. We live in a dream home. I invented a business out of thin air that at this point, I don't know how many of you are solopreneurs or have very lean teams. I don't have a massive team. My coaching business has generated over $2 million in cash. So when I say that this was not the predictable path, that's what I mean. And I'm curious how many of you feel like you're up to creating something different as well. You're creating something new. You're creating a path forward that no one could have seen for you coming because of what you had been through. And if you can relate to that, know you're in great company and I see you and I honor you. Yes. Okay, cool. Oh, there's a mic drop moment in here that I have to share with you. I was talking about this with some clients earlier this week around the predictable path. And we might look at people in our lives. I mean, I've got to be honest. Sometimes I don't make the healthiest choices. Sometimes I find myself in my own patterns, recreating these stupid, uncomfortable things. I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm curious if any of you have ever heard this. Didn't come from me, but it's so true that most people, given the choice, given the opportunity, most people will continually choose a familiar hell again and again and again over an unfamiliar heaven. All right, love, real quick pause because I have to tell you about something that is truly life-changing. If you've been in my world for any amount of time, then there is a 99.9% chance that you have heard me talk about Energy Expansion Academy, which is my signature group coaching program where I teach the exact tools, rituals, mindset shifts that helped me create a life that goes beyond my wildest dreams and has transformed the lives of hundreds of women that I've had the honor of serving. And for the first time ever, it is now available as a self-paced experience. That means you get to move through this powerful transformation on your own terms, in your own timing, and in full alignment with your life. This is for the woman who's ready to shift her energy, elevate her mindset, and finally become the most confident, fulfilled, and successful version of herself. Without the hustle, without the overwhelm, and without the second guessing. If you've been feeling the nudge to join us inside of EEA, then this, my love, is your sign. You'll find the link in the show notes or just DM me EEA on Instagram and I'll personally send it your way. Now, let's get back to the episode that you came for. Every single one of us does this, even me. Luckily, it's just in like little ways around bad food choices. I'm like, I'm bloated again. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But still, it's real. And some people, their unfamiliar hell is literally impacting every single area of their life. And the truth is, you don't know what you don't know. And so your mind is going to continue without you even putting in any extra thought, energy, or effort. It's just going to create more of the same. And this is a big part of the work that I do. I'm completing like my 100th certification this month, a 9-month certification, learning how to work with the body. It's called somatic coaching, understanding what's stored in the body. And the truth of the matter is, this is like what I have a hard time reconciling in my mind, is that the familiar hell feels safe for most people because it's known. Even if that looks like abuse and addiction and finding yourself in these not so great scenarios, if it's what you've known, your body craves it. And so we're now, this framework I keep referencing, some of you like have had your notes ready and you're like, Dani, I'm so ready to take notes on this. you're going to see aspects of this. And I'm also sharing this with you because I want to encourage you to give yourself grace. If you are in a state of doing the healing work, maybe you're like me and you've been doing it for a decade plus, maybe this conversation is sparking something new for the first time. If you don't have a new reality in the snap of a finger, you've got to give yourself grace. We're not just working on the level of our 3D reality or external. It all starts in here, and finding safety moving forward is a really big part of this. Okay. So the practical framework that I want to share with you, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. It's an acronym. So I want you to write it down your page, and then we're going to fill it in together. And if you've ever heard this before, so it's TFAR, TFAR. If you've heard this before and you're like, oh, I already know this, stay here, sister, because I teach this in a way that I've never heard anyone else teach this. And I cannot actually take credit for this. I was telling Kat, so I have a stack of books here, life-changing books, the ones I reference the most. It is called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Have any of you ever read this before? It was written in the 1980s. Don't get me wrong. I love like a new age self-help book, but take me back to the books that were written in like the 70s and the 80s, because it's the purest form. It's source code. So I was reading this book, and this is where I learned this acronym. And here's what I want you to know about this. We're going to fill this in. So the T represents our thoughts and beliefs. Take a minute to write that down if you're going to take notes. Our thoughts and beliefs. F, I'm now moving my hands down from my head to my heart. F is feelings and emotions. A is actions. So we're now going from the internal reality to our external, what we're doing out here. And then R is results. Earlier, I had talked about there are certain things that are at play at all times, universal laws. You know, when we talk about woo, you might hear people talk about The Secret and manifestation and law of attraction. And there are some people, like my husband, who will like poo-poo on those things. Well, joke's on him. Last night, he was like, my finger hurts. Do you have any like witchy stuff that you can put on it to make it feel better? I'm like, well, I do. So now he believes in it. But I've got to be completely honest with you. Science actually proves that the law of attraction is just as real as the law of gravity. We all accept that the law of gravity is real. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be standing here right now. We'd all be floating around, which might be kind of fun, but that's not the reality that we live in, right? The law of attraction states that everything is energy, everything is based on frequency, and that is really what we're talking about here. And so the thing that I want you to know is that if you're wanting to create something in your external reality, a lot of us will look at what do I need to do to make that happen, which is great. Like we absolutely need to be taking action. But the problem is the result doesn't begin out here. The result always begins in here, which is why there could be two people actually taking the exact same actions in the exact same way, but ending up with completely different results. If there is something that you want to create, you have to make sure, and I learned this the hard way. I wasn't always good at this. I was the go-getter. You tell me what to do. You tell me to jump. I say how high I would do it, but I wasn't getting the results that I knew was possible. And that was when I really went down this path of dedicating everything to the inner work and understanding our inner foundation. And so it's so incredibly important for us to make sure that we are aligning our thoughts and our beliefs with what it is that we want to feel, knowing that that is then going to create the ripple effect that determines what is actually happening in our external reality. And so we're going to play with this a little bit. Kat, I'm going to have you like fill in some of the blanks here, and we're going to give you guys some of these things. One of my favorite things to do is to pretend that I'm already the version of me who has everything that I could possibly desire. We've got an 8-figure business, this amazing team. I'm being flown not around the country, around the world to speak on stages, first class with my whole family, right? And so I'm not there yet. But one of the things that I like to do is I like to practice playing with, experimenting with, what is that version of me thinking? What are the thoughts that led her there? What does she believe to be possible? Who does she believe herself to be? What did she need to let go of and replace that with, right? What is her baseline frequency as she's moving through the world when life throws her a problem or something unfavorable? How does she navigate that? And so you can start to look at what are the thoughts that are going to support me in getting to where I want to go. Okay. And so I would love for all of you to think about a goal that you have. I'm going to rattle off some of these for you, but if you really want to play along, I want to invite you to jot down in your notebook, if you're taking notes, what are some thoughts and beliefs that one, you have already that are supportive in getting you to where you want to go, or two, you're like, I really need to adopt some new thoughts and beliefs. Feel free to share those. I'm going to rattle off a few, and Kat, you can share them too. When Kat came on and she shared a song called I'm Paid to Exist, if you all don't already have that thought and belief imprinted up here all day, every day, I want to encourage you to write that down. And every morning, look your beautiful face dead in the eye when you're getting ready in the mirror, and you say, I'm paid to exist. One of my favorite beliefs is I'm a magnet for miracles. Everything is happening for me. I am worthy upon arrival. I am worthy of being in every room that I'm invited to be in. For mine, there's a lot of worthiness stuff because I've had to do a lot of work around the belief of not feeling like I'm enough. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. That's a really common one for women. So a couple of the other beliefs that I popped in here for you is I'm someone that I can trust, and I'm someone that other people can trust. My network is my net worth. I surround myself with women who are on a path to elevate their wealth, their mindset, their results. I don't chase opportunities, I attract them. I bring value to everything and everywhere I go. I know who I am. I know what I do. I know who I serve. I know how I serve. Okay, I'm going to read some of these. Pop some examples in here, okay? Donna, I see you, babe. Donna says, I need to adopt some new thoughts and beliefs. Okay, Donna, I hope you're taking notes and you're going to borrow some of the ones that I'm sharing here and what other people are sharing. Amy says, I'm limited only by myself. There is nothing and no one who has any power over me. No one can stop me. I attract success to me. Yep, everything's always working out for me. I have the ability to be a growth agent. Why not me? Yes, yes. I am part of God, and everyone here is attracted to my energy. This is so good. I'm obsessed with this. I find opportunities in rebellion. Yeah. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things is, especially right now in this day and age, it takes an act of rebellion to see the good and beautiful things in the world. Why do I say that? I think in every industry, the powers that be, this doesn't have to be a political conversation, but there's so much heaviness, there's so much darkness, and people in power thrive when we're in the low, dense energy. Why? Because when we're hanging out in depression, in sadness, in shame, in guilt, in anger, in division, guess what? We don't have any power at all. So it takes an act of rebellion to be actively being in rooms like this, to be seeing the good and beautiful things in the world, to be seeing the abundance that's literally all around us, to see the miracles and the magic. This is a time right now where every single one of us is being called to be a rebel in that way. If we want to really take our power back, we get to be right now the healthiest, happiest, wealthiest version of ourselves. That is how you take your power back. That is how you make change. What would it look like for you? And I mean, there we go. If you're looking for more beliefs to take on, I am committed to being the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of me. Boom. Okay, I said it there in a very specific way. Did you notice how I said I'm committed to? Sometimes with thoughts and beliefs and affirmations, they're really beautiful, but they don't always work. If you are the unhealthiest, the unhappiest, and the unwealthiest version of you, and you look in the mirror and you say, I'm so happy, healthy, and wealthy, your subconscious mind is like, you a liar. You're lying, right? And so there's something around our thoughts, beliefs, affirmations, and mantras where this is in neurolinguistic programming, this is known as creating a bridge. You cannot look yourself dead in the eye and lie to yourself. But what you can say is, I am committed to becoming. I am working on. I'm excited to become, right? So that's where the bridge would be versus just a bold I am statement that feels light years away from where you are. This is beautiful. Okay. I'm like scrolling through these. Keep popping your beliefs in here. So again, thoughts and beliefs inform our feelings and emotions and vice versa. When it comes to law of attraction, I did not always know this, and you might not know this either. I have a feeling a lot of you believe in the law of attraction. What we're actually referring to more than anything else is the energy that is being emitted from our energetic body. Your heart is the soul of your energetic body. So yes, your thoughts carry frequency. Yes, we want to be thinking high vibrational thoughts, but more than anything, what is the energy that you're moving from? And this is not to say that having moments of fear and sadness and grief and anger are bad. You're human, right? I always like to say that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. First and foremost, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a soul who said, ooh, look at that thing down there called planet Earth and those people doing that stuff. I want to try it. You are a spiritual being who said, I want to have the whole human experience. And guess what's part of the human experience, my love? Shame, sadness, grief, anger, fear, all of it. There's no bypassing it. It becomes a problem when that is your baseline. When something happened 10 years ago that really pissed you off, and now you're walking through the world being an angry person, being angry at everything. Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I love so much, if you don't know him, check him out. He says, your personality becomes your personal reality. And so there might be an invitation here. We might need to look in the mirror for a minute and really ask, am I moving from a baseline energy, from a personality that creates the personal reality that I am here for? Because if there's a mismatch there, you can make 1,000 cold calls a day and you're not going to create what it is that you want. And I mean that. I'm speaking to you with love, and I know you can feel my love, right? And so that is where we're looking at this next piece of feelings and emotions. And so some feelings and emotions that I want you to take on are love. As cutesy as that sounds, there is literally nothing more powerful than love. One of my favorite books is called The Course in Miracles, and it defines the definition of a miracle is a shift from fear to love. A shift from fear to love. That is the definition of a miracle. When you are operating, and I don't know if you guys saw, I don't ever say anything that I don't genuinely mean. And as Kat was talking and holding back tears, I said, I'm so inspired by the way that you lead from love and service. Holding a heart posture of love and service will have you be an automatic magnet for miracles, opportunities, collaborations, referrals. I just got full body chills. There was a year, I choose a word, as I was telling you at the very beginning, for every year. And the year that I chose the word magnetic, people had reflected to me like, oh, your energy's magnetic. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But I was like, what if I spent the whole year just allowing myself to be unapologetically magnetic? My business grew 200% that year over year. And it was just me not dimming my light, me letting myself be all of myself everywhere I went. And so as we're saying these words out loud, I'm really curious. Feel free, again, it might be the word you chose for the year, but through this conversation, there might be something else coming through of like, what is that word you want to embody? Maybe it's more love, maybe it's service, maybe it's joy. Speaking of magnetism and being magnetic, there are few things more magnetic than a woman in her joy. A woman having fun. People are like, I don't even know what she's doing over there, but I want to get a little closer. I want to be a part of that. When I first landed on Kat's social media, her content is powerful. It's fun, right? And the people who want to work with her feel that. And so feel free to claim, what is that energy that you want to play with here? expansion has been one of my big words. It's why my signature program is Energy Expansion Academy. It's why my podcast is the Energy Expansion Podcast. Speaking of Tony Robbins, I was listening to a podcast. It was the very first week of this year, and he was being interviewed by a woman who has a podcast that I love. And this woman said, what would you say to someone who's ready to change their life? Like, what's the first step? And because of my brand, I was like, yes, Tony. He said, we have to start by expanding their energy. We've got to let them get energetically bigger to take up space, to feel safe moving through the world. All of this is coming from your emotions and your feelings. That's this F part of it. And then we'll, again, come back to, we've kind of been doing this loop again and again and again here on purpose. Now, my friends, that we've aligned thoughts and beliefs with feelings and emotions, this is now going to determine the actions that you take and the energy from which you take those actions. And then this is easy math now. That's then going to determine the kind of results that you get. So it's this cycle that's at play. I hope every single one of you loves this. If you don't, it doesn't change the fact that this is still the cycle that's at play. And so what we did together today, Kat and I, is we wanted to hand this to you so that you can leverage what is happening in the unseen world. I really truly believe that the world that we can't actually see, the world of energy, of frequency, of spirituality, that is actually more real and reliable than what our eyes can see, than the physical realm. And when you understand this formula, you can take it and you can literally, it wouldn't be a bad idea every single morning. If you don't have like a morning ritual, a practice that you tap into, my love, have this be your new daily practice once a day, each morning, right when you wake up, before you check your emails, before you open up your social media, get a blank piece of paper and write TFAR. And you're going to write the date. Here are the thoughts and beliefs I'm adopting for today. I just got chills right now. This is good. I've never suggested this. I've never done this, but now I'm going to do this with you. Here are the thoughts and beliefs I'm adopting today. Here's the main energetic frequency, the emotion that I'm going to be operating from. And when I am operating from this internal world, here are the 3 actions I'm taking no matter what. If nothing else gets done, I know that when I take those actions, these are the results that I'm going to get. And maybe they're results that you get today, or I really truly believe that the actions we take today, we can expect to see those like 60 to 90 days from now, right? Do you guys believe that? I really truly believe that there's the action taking, the energy, the getting caught up. And so you can say, because of who I'm being today, I know that if it's not today, then in the next 2 to 3 months, my business is going to grow by this percent. I'm going to have this many new referrals. I'm going to have this many speaking gigs, whatever it is that matters most to you. So that's the formula that I wanted to share with you.
I'm so happy. And if anything that landed for you guys, if there's anything that landed today, anything you want to drop in the chat, let Dani know. Follow her Instagram, Dani, we these shirts.
Yeah, let me pop this in here. I'm going to drop my Instagram here in the chat. The reason specific, I'd love to connect with you. I have a lot of fun on Instagram. I love being in the DMs and sending voice notes. But here's what I want you to know. If you loved this conversation and you're like, I would like to take this a little bit further, I have a completely free gift. It's a 3-part audio series that's going to allow you to continue to ground in everything we talked about today. And one of the 3 audios is actually, it's so funny that you said faith, because the actual audio is the faith frequency activation. There is something, it's you tapping into knowing that it is already done, and your invitation is just keep stepping into that version of you, and everything else is taken care of, and everything else is working in your favor and for you. And so what I want to invite you to do is head over to my Instagram. I'll pop it in here one more time. DM me the word gift, and my team will send you the link. It's completely free. I would love for you to enjoy that. And my DMs are wide open. I really love connecting with my people. I know that we're out of time now, but if there was something that landed for you and you were like, Dani, I need you to know about this thing, this story, my own manifestation story, share it with me in the DMs. Or if this start up a question, you're like, I really like this, but like there's this one piece, Dani, I'm having a hard time getting on board with. Let me know and I'll coach you through it. I'll create a whole podcast episode for you. Like next week's episode will be me answering your question. Yes. So head over to my Instagram and then GIFT, and my team will know just to send you the 3-part audio series, The Faith of Frequency. That's it.
Thank you for you to give us your time today and to feed into
All right, Pod Squad, that's it. We did it. You did it. We made it to the very end. If you are still here, you are the real MVP. I hope that you loved that as much as I loved being in the room with the women of the TLC, the LendHer Collective. And also, it was so deeply meaningful to get to share this with you. So, that event was known as a power hour. And I think our mission of having the women feel reignited in their power, in their purpose, in their possibility was accomplished. And also, I had to edit out certain parts because of the sound quality, because of the audio quality. There were little nuggets of wisdom that Kat was sharing throughout, and I'll pop her Instagram in the show notes below so that you can check her out, connect with her. She's really amazing. But the software that I was using, the audio recording software, wasn't able to pick her up clearly. And so you might have even noticed that a little bit at the very beginning and then also right here at the end. And so that was pretty much the entirety of it while also editing it so that you got the best audio quality. So thank you for being here. I'm so glad. As always, if there was something about this that landed for you today, I would genuinely love to hear about it. Come find me on the social medias, send me a DM, and that special offer around the 3-part audio series. It's a holy shift activation by igniting what I call the faith frequency. I would love to gift that to you as well, just like I did with the women in the LendHer Collective Power Hour last week. So you can find the link for that in the show notes, or you can also do as I invited them to do. Open up your Instagram, DM me the word gift, and I will know what to send you. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.